Hello, everyone, and welcome back to What the Frick podcast. So, today is going to be more of a mini episode. I didn't even have this planned, but I was watching the Bachelorette Finale last night, and I just had so many thoughts. And I was listening to just, some other past Bachelorette podcasts at work today, and just reading everything on Twitter like I always do after the show. And I don't usually feel the need to talk about it, but I feel like there's some things that needed to be sort of, I guess, more talked about than more than just, oh, who won or why'd she pick him? Like, actual real things happened. So regardless or not if you've watched this show and this franchise, just it was crazy last night. Basically, the main thing that people are sort of debating about was who was right in terms of the relationship between Bachelorette Rachel and the guy she picked, Tino. There was a whole segment where they ended up getting engaged, and then only for I think a month or so later, he ended up cheating on her where he kissed another girl. When he finally told her about it, he was just kind of, from Rachel's point of view, spinning things, almost trying to make it look like it was her fault. She did not appreciate the way it was handled and just the way he was coming at her. And there's a lot of people who are taking Rachel's side. There's a lot of people who are kind of taking Tino's side and saying, she didn't let him speak. She didn't give him the time of day. They brought him on for the after show of The Bachelor, and, she kind of just went at him. I mean, I don't blame her. If I was cheated on, I would do exactly the same thing. But a lot of people are saying that Tino was not given an opportunity to really speak his truth. And it's like, does he even deserve it? And some people might say, oh, all he did was kiss one girl one time. And Rachel is kind of saying that she doesn't quite believe that, and she's actually not sure if, it was more or not, because he did take a while to fully tell her the truth. Personally, I think cheating is cheating. Obviously, it would, at least for me, feel a lot worse if it was something, more intimate that did occur. But, I mean, some people might even argue that a kiss is actually more intimate because you're not, doing it just for the physicality of it. It's sort of a more intimate act and could almost be more hurtful in that way. The thing that I wanted to touch on was the week before, kind of leading up to the finale, both bachelorettes were very focused on their final guys actually getting down on one knee and proposing to them. And they were facing a lot of issues because a lot of the guys were saying, I don't know if I'm ready for an engagement. That's not to say I don't really like you and care about you and I'm falling for you. I just don't think I'm there yet. And I would love to walk out of here with you and continue to date and see where things go and, hopefully reach that point with you. But at this time, I'm just not there. And neither of these women wanted to hear it. They were so tunnel vision focused on this proposal that I think Rachel actually let go of the one person that she could have actually had a happy ending with that wouldn't have cheated on her. For her guy had told her that he was falling in love with her and he was ready for marriage. And then when he went on her hometown date where he got to meet Rachel's family, he kind of told them, I'm not at the point yet where I can get down on one knee with her. I can for sure see myself getting there with her, down the road, but at this moment I'm not ready. And when Rachel's family told her that, she was extremely hurt and confused and felt like this guy lied to her because he's telling her I'm ready for marriage, but he's telling her family I'm not ready to, get engaged right now. And I just don't think she was able to differentiate the two because her biggest thing was, well, are you ready? And he's saying, yes, I'm ready, as in, I'm settled, I'm at a place in my life, I like you. But not only just I like you, Rachel, it's I am ready to be married, I am ready to get engaged. That does not necessarily mean that I am ready to get engaged to you after 6-8 weeks. No. And I just don't think she was able to fully differentiate the two, and she just saw it as, he's lying to me, he's lying to my family, he's lying to someone, and she just kind of immediately broke things off with him. And had she not been so focused on getting a ring on her finger, then I think she would have ended up with that guy, with Avon, and I don't think he would have cheated on her. I mean, we don't know for sure, but that connection, and it just seemed a lot more genuine to me, whereas Tino, for those that watched, was sort of more so playing more of a game with her. And even though he did get down on one knee and he did propose to her and put that ring on her finger, he went off and cheated on her a month later. So it's like, what's more important here? A guy that will actually make the move and get down on one knee, or the guy that's saying, I'm ready, but you need to give me some time because I just met you 6 weeks ago and I'd actually like to get to know you a little bit better. Like, I just think these two women, especially Rachel, were just so hyper focused on getting a ring on their finger that they didn't really think about the connections they were forming. And I think in the end, it did hurt them. The other Bachelorette, Gabby, was also very, into wanting to get engaged by the end of her journey. And even when she was on her way to her little like engagement area where, they propose or not, she didn't know if he was going to do it or not. And she was very unsure, and she still showed up. And it's like she didn't send him home when he told her the night before, like, hey, I'm not quite sure if I want to actually do this right now. And she still showed up. And I think for her, she realized, whether or not he does this, like, I have a connection with him, and I'm just going to hope and pray that he does get down on one knee. But I'm just having a hard time understanding why these women, and I think it's not just them and the fact that they're on this show, but a lot of women just prioritize an engagement and prioritize, getting that ring on their finger maybe over an actual, real, genuine connection. I, for one, have always said that I would love to be a contestant on this show just to, see how everything works. But I think I would actually struggle a lot because, I mean, if a guy looked at me and said, you're ready to get engaged, I'd be like, I mean, I just met you. Like, we've had like maybe one or two, if we're lucky, like one-on-one dates, one overnight date where there's no cameras, and then like a couple maybe like 10-20 minute conversation interactions on these group dates, some which I may not have even been picked for. So in totality, spending like not even 24 full hours together before getting married. I mean, I think guys are a lot more rational when it comes to these things, and I think this is like the first time that literally every single guy looked at both Bachelorettes, because there were two this time, and they were like, yo, I'm really not ready. Like, I really like you and I'm falling for you, and I am telling you that I am ready to like get engaged and get married, but I'm just not ready to do it right this second. And I just have a hard time understanding why like they didn't like that. Like, I feel like that's almost more of a green flag for me. Like, okay, like, yeah, no, like, obviously we're not gonna get engaged right now. We met like 2 months ago. Like, I mean, the whole premise of the show is to, I guess, get engaged, but I think more so it's just to find someone that you actually are in love with and you can actually stay with. If anything, this show has created more couples that have stayed together longer, that actually aren't engaged. Matt and Rachel from like 2 years ago, who ended up not getting engaged over that entire controversy that happened, they're back together. They're not engaged. They're very happy. It's like, you don't always need to have this symbol on your hand and be able to call someone your fiance in order to be happy. And I think that's a lot of thing that we as women, and even as men, if you're feeling this way, sort of need to try and understand and comprehend. If you're only focused on, telling people or just feeling settled by being able to say I'm engaged, it's going to be a lot harder for you to form that connection and in general just keep that connection. obviously this show is extremely sped up in terms of, talking to one another and, having to have those conversations and meetups to get to that point. And it's very clear that the show can work because there's been a lot of couples who are together, are married, have kids, etc. So the show works. I just think that when you prioritize an engagement over a true connection just because someone tells you they're not ready in 6 weeks, you shouldn't freak out and send them home. You should maybe just look at that and be like, okay, you're right. It's sad because now I look at what happened to Rachel and she's alone again. She not only got heartbroken on Clayton's season by him not picking her, and she was literally begging for him to keep her there before she got in the car. And now she came on The Bachelorette. I always said I'm not quite sure if she's, fully healed from that since it was only like a 2-month time span in between the two seasons. I feel like, I wouldn't be ready for that if I was fully in love with someone and I knew I wanted to marry them. And then 2 months later, they're saying, hey, you want to come be the Bachelorette? Like, that sounds super fun, but I'm just not quite sure I'd be emotionally healed. So I was always kind of on the fence about if she was actually ready for this. And then I think it kind of just proves the fact that things didn't work out for her. It's obviously not her fault that she was cheated on in any capacity, and that's completely on Tino, and there's no excuse for that. But I just think now, going through those both experiences on the show, I hope that she can kind of like take a step back and prioritize maybe more of those meaningful connections. And I know she did, leave the stage with Avon afterward, who came back and just like said, I'm so sorry this happened to you. Do you want to go catch up? And whether that turns into something or not, I just hope she can kind of look back on this. And I have a really good feeling she is going to find that perfect person that actually is her soulmate very soon, because now she's just going to be able to see the signs and see like, wow, I shouldn't have prioritized that, or I really thought this person was for me, but they weren't, and kind of be able to see those signs and attract that perfect person for her. So I hope and wish nothing but the best for both ladies. I freaking love Gabby. She's so cute. She's so fun. She's hilarious. For those that were watching, I don't know if you guys noticed, but when Gabby went over to Rachel's house or wherever that was to like discuss the Tino cheating, while she was talking, she was like holding her face with her like hand like this kind of, and like she had a giant rock on her left finger. And I was like, I don't even think The Bachelor cares anymore that they're just like spoiling everything, because it was like there's no way to like edit it out. I guess they could have told Gabby like, take your ring off, but then that would have been like, oh, she's not wearing a ring, like what happened? It's just funny because it was like a dead giveaway that she was engaged and they had not shown like her ending yet. So I kind of like that they just like don't care anymore, but I thought that was funny. So yeah, nothing but the best for those two women. I feel like this show has taught me so much over the years. I've been an avid watcher since I was like, I think a freshman in high school, so a long time now. It's funny because I've always said I wanted to go on this show, and so many people go for the wrong reasons, and it's like, is anyone really going for the right reasons? Like, yes, I'm single, yes, I want to find love, but do I think I'm really gonna go on like a reality TV show and meet the love of my life and have him pick me out of like 30 women? The odds are against me, and I think it's just going in, like, the perfect candidate for this show goes in, obviously single with, like, no attachments. Like, a lot of people that do go on this show still kind of have former relationships going, which is a no-no. But just go on single, open-minded, be willing to meet whoever the bachelor or bachelorette is and actually get to know them and, like, see if there's something there for you. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But I think this concept of people going on for like clout or Instagram followers, or because I just want to like travel, it's like, I don't think a lot of people are going on just assuming that this is my husband or this is my wife. It's like people are going on to see what happens and to have an experience and to see, if they are that 1 in a million person that does get chosen. And so for those reasons and those reasons alone, ABC, I am here. Please, I'm willing to come on. Hit me up. I will respond immediately. Because I am single and I am open, and I think I'd be a really good contestant. Actually, I would give the best reactions, the best like interview one takes, and I would honestly be very open-minded to the person there, and I would actually try and get to know them. And if I had that connection, I would hope that they would want to get to know me as well. So that's my submission to the Bachelor franchise. Thank you so much. I hope you guys enjoyed this mini episode. If you're watching this, I am super dressed up right now. I'm actually going to dinner in like 20 minutes, but I wanted to record this before I left because I was like, wow, I kind of look cute. So I may as well record something really quick on, my quick rant of the Bachelorette finale. So I'm excited. I think I might release this. Yeah, no, I'm going to release it next week. I had my Drea episode part 2 scheduled, but I'm going to release that the week after just to, stay fresh on the Bachelor news. So Drea will be back with her part 2 story next week, and I have some fun things lined up for you guys. So as always, thank you so much for listening. Please remember to follow us on TikTok and Instagram at What the Frick Podcast. If you've made it this far, apply me for The Bachelor because I'm ready. I'm ready to find love. All right, I'll see you guys next week.